It's spring in northern Germany, it's winter in this video, and it's autumn in my soul forever. Moin moin, dear people, old, new, my friends, the friends of my friends, my relatives, and anyone in the world who found this channel and who thought that the topics I am talking about might be interesting for them. My name is Anna, and I don't recognize myself in the camera right now. I don't know what happened today. I'm not upset, but yeah, I don't recognize myself, so it's okay. It happens sometimes. Yeah, my name is Anna of Northern Germany, originally from Russia, a survivor, a fighter, a writer, and this channel I talk about writing because I'm an aspiring author, books. I adore books about mental health awareness, because I was diagnosed with depression a while ago and I still face the consequences. And also sometimes about politics, but not too much because it's not good for my mental health. And all this together on this channel. I work at a school for kids with special needs. That's why I'm not super energetic those days. But I continue filming because I just love it. It's just fun. And I don't want to make a long introduction today, also because I have a therapy session very soon. So I don't know what to say. Let's just try to watch and enjoy me reading this bad guy or bad girl. Let's say bad girl, because why not? And if you're interested in my opinion on this book, you'll find it in this video. Also, if you're interested in seeing me struggling to rest as always, it had been an issue, it used to be an issue, it is still an issue. I still cannot find the perfect rest for myself. Yeah, I am trying to read this, and also I'm trying to balance in this video between social life, moving, and my desire to just lie and die and explore my bed. So if you're interested, I don't know, maybe you're interested how it is going to unravel, welcome to this video and hopefully enjoy. I began reading straight after getting back from work, and I wanted to make myself cozy, and I turned the tea lights on and the fairy lights, and I also lighted the candle. Fun fact, I am afraid of fire and it's difficult for me to light the fire in the candle. Otherwise, after work I'm exhausted. I still try to film after work or write or read. Sometimes I just want to lie and die, and this is very mean because at the same time I want to write, I want to film, I want to do everything, I want to read so many books. But unfortunately I also have to be realistic, and I have to feel sorry for myself sometimes. Did you sleep well, guys? Sleeping well is very important. What's up with my voice? I don't know. You can see, well, or I don't know if you can see, but my couch is a bit of a disaster because I'm doing several things. There is a pile of my book sheets that I have already finished working through. I'm almost finished, but that's for a separate video. I'm also reading several books at the same time. And this brick is one of those, the Ulysses by James Joyce. I'm very slow. It's a commitment for several months. I already said about that on Instagram and on TikTok. Also, sometimes on TikTok I publish updates on the Ulysses. This one you could see in my Berlin vlog. I'm also reading these. But those are not exactly fiction. Like these book, for example, are essays, letters, and stuff. This one is very nice, actually. But I really needed fiction to be absorbed into the text. And yeah, this one is so far, I think my expectations, well, it's meeting my expectations. This is the very, very cheap edition, but it doesn't matter for me. And yesterday I read till page 65, and the creation was already made. And as my friend said, that it was made very rapidly. Mary Shelley wasn't concentrated on the process of making the creature, but rather on the consequences. And yeah, I agree. I think it's also a way for you not to dig deep into the details of science, of alchemy, what it is called. And you need to do like quite a deep of a research to do that. And instead you can just concentrate on the consequences. There is nothing bad about it. It's just a way to write books. And so far I really, really like the voice. I really like the way it is written. It's not difficult to read at all, although it was written in 1800s. And it's highly recommend it if you want some classics, and you haven't read Frankenstein yet so far. Like the drama is about to unravel like on page 65 of this edition. While I'm drinking my huge can of tea, I'm going to read a bit more into the book. And so far what I can say, people of the past, like also in Dostoevsky's books, in Tolstoy's books, like in many books in the past, the problem with these people, why they get into trouble, because they don't have to think about earning their living. Yeah, I don't want to sound toxic like my grandma, who says that we had to work a lot and we didn't know anything about depression. The depression didn't exist, but these people really needed to think about earning money a bit. I think it would do good to them. Unfortunately, I cannot dedicate myself to just lying on the couch and exploring my bed. I would really want to do that, but I'll need to do shopping because it's Sunday tomorrow. And I'm also meeting my friend Coraline. I'm sorry. Coraline, I'm very sorry. Hi Coraline, if you're watching my video. My problem is that my ideal weekend is when I'm just, when I'm a couch potato. Like, really. Wrapped into the blankets. But it's also unhealthy for me, and I understand that. But I also need to recover from the week of socializing. I really need a bit of silence, but I also need to see people, and usually I feel really sick if I just stay in bed or on my couch for the whole day, and I start getting back pains and headaches and everything. I'm trying to balance. Isn't always happen. I think for the next weekend I'll have to plan to close myself in my flat and never, and not to leave it till Monday. But this weekend is going to be active. And let's see how much I will read into the book, into the Frankenstein, considering that. Do you believe me if I say that I hate each one of those? God. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the Russian cuisine, or Slavic cuisine to be precise, because not all of this is Russian, of course. And with borscht, there are like lots of arguments. But this borscht looks scary to me. I won't dare buy it. If you're interested how shopping looks like when you don't have a car, like this. And I also have a backpack full behind me. Yeah, sports. Post-shopping update. Do I have an excuse? No. I just thought that... No, I just remembered that I'm a content creator. And if you're personally interested in me suffering and eating this, or maybe I will just enjoy it thoroughly, I really don't know. I'm generally not the biggest fan of the Russian cuisine and borscht in particular. And this looks a bit weird. Not a bit, maybe. And yeah, when you're watching this video, I'm sure me trying this and a couple of other things from the Russian week is already lying somewhere on TikTok or on Instagram, maybe. I'm sure they are. And another update, I met my neighbor, and her husband had a stroke, and he had been recovering for several months, and now he's coming back on Thursday, I think. I'm very happy about that. I feel nice after getting out. That's a positive thing. How tired I'm going to be, I'm going to see in the evening. My grandma just retired today. And another piece of news. The weather is misery invoking. And I will put my dishwasher on the cleaning cycle. And then I'll have about an hour till I will head to Hamburg. And in this hour, I will read a bit more into the Frankenstein. And the story is getting wild. Yet, I finished the first volume. Already an innocent person died. Two people died. Yeah, okay. I had long forgotten how great it is when you have a friend close by and you can just meet this friend for a coffee, or you can also go to a place where you had wanted to go 1,000 years ago, but you couldn't go there because you have this restriction in your head that you cannot go there alone. Of course you can, but I couldn't. And we finally went to Rathaus Passage. It's a cafe dash a library, a used book shop, and it's a church organization. But as you can see in the pictures, the books are not super godly in this place. Have you been Team Jacob or Team Edward?
Difficult to say, I think.
Or Team Charlie?
I think at the end I like Jacob more somehow.
Well,
But I don't really remember the
yeah.
story, but it was more like, yeah, he seems to behave more friendly. But I don't remember.
Yeah, but they're both idiots, if we're being honest. That house passage is slightly hidden from people, and you need to take some time to find the stairs that leads down. Otherwise, people have already discovered it, and it's quite full on Saturday and possibly on Sunday if it works on Sunday. And then we went for a walk and we saw a very cool seagull. Well, every seagull is cool. And it took quite some time for us to find a place to sit, and we sat in an Italian cafe. We were very happy that we came there, and Carlin also brought a book for me, and it's an amazing book, also translated into English if you're interested. And in the cafe I tried the croissant, apricot croissant, and my friend tried Nonna's cake. My friends are 10 minutes late as always. And also yesterday, because the weather is amazing, I did such a pirouette next to my house. I literally slid to my entrance door on my knee. But I'm fine. Looking forward to all this stuff melting, really. I love snow. But I think I've had enough. Together with my friends, we headed to Mölln because my friend, their son, was singing and was playing in the orchestra. I'm trying not to miss his concerts because he's soon leaving. He's finishing school already, and I don't know what he's planning to do, but he's definitely leaving his home. And Mölln is just amazing. Mölln is a town in Herzogtum Lauenburg in the north, in northern Germany, and it's such a monument, such a historical monument. And my friends always tell me nice stories about this place. For example, these warehouses or these farmhouses which are not used anymore on the top because there is no water access there. And the church was built probably in 1300s. It's ancient, and it was very cold in this church, but the music was really warming. It's already after 10, and I'm with my soul open in my pajamas. My day was bizarre. I feel unpleasantly tired, and I have been looking forward to spending the whole day at home. But as always, I regret it. My head is like a bit like a boiling kettle, and I thought I will be lying and exploring my bed, and I spent sitting on the couch in one position, And at this point, I don't know, I really envy people who can spend the whole day or even the whole weekend without lifting themselves from the couch or from the bed, and they don't feel unwell. Although maybe I just, imagine that. Maybe everybody feels unwell. But I feel like it's not like I feel like the time was wasted. I think I enjoyed it. But at the same time, I think I needed some fresh air and some movement. And I could have spent this day with my friends and the weekend with my friends, but I thought that 3 active weekends straight would be too much. I also don't regret my decision. I also got videos. I will include the video here because it's just so cute. How many times did you watch it? Yes.
Okay. Ja.
Tibi!
Achtung, Tinis Kopf ist auf der falschen Stangenseite.
Well done, Timmy.
I really love my friends. They're the best. I love Timmy. But the problem with my friends is that they're like true Germans, because all these German memes, like, there was one video like a while ago when a woman is just like parodying a German, and she takes an orange, she eats like half an orange, and she says, "Oh, I'm full." It's true. It's literally true. My friends just don't eat sometimes, and they don't get any consequences, and have tendencies to headaches. And of course, whatever. When I neglect my body, I start having headaches and all that unpleasant stuff. So yeah, I watched a lot of content today. You can see it from my face probably. But I also read, didn't read much today, but the book is progressing very fast. I'm on page 191 and I am 71% through the book. And I must say that right now it's a heavy read. It's bit of an obnoxious read, and also it's emotionally difficult, emotionally pressuring read. And I enjoy the book, but it's really hard for me when a person on the pages is suffering mentally, because I also went through this, and also like one of the reasons why probably I suffer when I don't move around the house or out of the house. Maybe my body starts remembering depression days and starts to, I don't know, sending some messages to my brain that it's starting again. I don't know, it's just a supposition, I don't know. So it's hard for me to read a bit, and there will be a spoiler now, so close your ears. Yeah, I'm just thinking, like, if he did create a female for his monster, would it be that bad of an idea? Because now he is basically living through the consequences of his refusal, because he almost agreed, but then he refused. And I just think, on the one hand, would it be that great of an idea? But on the other hand, I understand that he was right thinking that he would invoke misery, another creature, and it's cruel, it's selfish, and also he couldn't trust the monster that he would just, fulfill his promise and disappear from his life. So yeah, I already anticipate what kind of wonderful, colorful nightmares I'm going to have after that. So I better retire, and I will try to spend tomorrow in a healthier way than today. Really, I don't know what's better. Maybe I should have traveled with my friends. I would be pleasantly tired, although I would have had hungry headache, but
points And take a second here. You can bring your blocks underneath your hands, or just take a second here to roll your shoulders a little forward, up and back here. Now, let's bring our attention back to that midline. So, hugging the inner thighs in, we'll reach the fingertips forward, up and back, lifting up through the front body, finding this crescent lunge, uncurl the back toes and root down through the front of that back foot. Inhale in, beautiful, exhale, bring it down. Left hand comes.
If you had been thinking that Russians are not as crazy as you had imagined them, I want to prove you that I am as crazy as you had imagined me, probably, or you didn't. It's amazing. For the first time I tried this dessert on my grandpa's funeral. Don't repeat after me, please. I am just really have issues in my head, probably. But it's beautiful. And it's tasty. Yeah. I am so blessed to live in such a beautiful place, and also next to the most beautiful city in the whole world, Hamburg. I'm of course biased, and I still find it unbelievable that I ended up next to Hamburg, and I didn't speak German. I wouldn't have chosen it consciously, but somehow life led me close to this place that became my home, my real home. And in Russia it would have been different. In such weather I would have been shoveled the mud with my feet. And when I came home I still tried to do something rather than scrolling, and I tried journaling. I had some thoughts piling up in my head because my work is challenging. It's very difficult, and I love my job. I'm not leaving, but I need some time to process all that, and only after that I went back to reading the Frankenstein. I knew it's going to be that way. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, the reading marathon can be declared finished. I finished this book in 2 weekends. The TikTok people who read 10 books per week are now laughing, probably. Okay, I better put it here because I don't want it to be like poop on the microphone, but okay. If you want to know my opinion, it's amazing. But okay, hear me out. Maybe if you belong to this 1.5% who hasn't read this, just like me, probably close your ears or like skip for this time code. But, okay, we will not ignore the obvious fact that if we look at it from the scientific point of view, Mary Shelley didn't do her homework. Like, you won't find an explanation how and why and whatever and what. And from the scientific point of view, I would say it's quite weak. But, hear me out. From a different point of view, from a point of view of a romantic book, I can imagine what kind of a progressive read it was at that point, because even now you read it, it like feels really fresh. And the way how she presents like two sides, and none of them are purely evil or purely pure. Sorry. Because really you cannot sympathize for 100% to both sides, to the creator and to the creation. And both of them are like, they are refusing to take their side of the responsibility. And I also read the article, because I like books that also contain like the articles of some researchers on the piece of literature. According to this article, Frankenstein was immature and also sexually immature, and he was trying to avoid his adult responsibilities, and he wasn't even seeking the marriage that is described as something that he wished for, but actually he dreamed of escaping the world, while his shadow, so to say, the creature, was craving the female, just like this family, this comfort. And also there are allusions to literature, to poetry, to in acceptance of the of our shape, of being like perfect inside, so to say, and not matching our insides and suffering from that. And also like there are mentioned like, because her husband was a poet, and also when he put his thoughts on the paper, it was not even a half of the grand creation in his head. And it's like, wow, mind-blowing. It's just so good. Of course, it's disturbing read, like a very disturbing read, because it has this chain of like how people die one by one, like his dearest ones. But technically, when you read the article, you realize that the death of his relatives was the only way for him to own them. And he was seeking solitude, but also like the creature hated his creator, but at the same time removed all this responsibility of him being evil. Like, I am evil because I'm rejected by the society, and many humans are rejected by the society, but it's always your choice to do obscene things. Let's say hi to Vladimir Putin and other amazing people. If you haven't read it yet, it's highly recommended. In this version, also because it has a wonderful article. What I like about like these, I think, no, it's like Penguin English Library, like very cheap version. But I also like those versions of books, like of this edition, what it is called, like for example Virginia Woolf. Alma Classics is also really great because they're affordable, and also they have additional material to read on. In conclusion, as always, not much has changed. I'm still incapable of resting myself totally, and there are some things that they wouldn't want to do, but they have to do them for the sake of my mental and physical health, such as taking myself out and doing a bit of sports. But I really have to force myself to do that, otherwise I wouldn't do that. I hope you're doing better than me. I'm also not doing too bad. I think it's just February. February is like dreary. And I also mentioned that last year when I filmed the video in this period, and I think you also know that February is February. Like one day it's like pouring, the next day it's frozen, and it's slippery, then it's minus. So, okay, well, at least there is some diversity this February. Previously it's just dark. And yeah, if you are sad right now, it will pass. And read books that you enjoy. Don't catch colds. Have a nice weekend. Rest on the weekend. If you haven't found a way you can rest. I also didn't. I'll do that. Woo. Okay, I'm wishing you love, and peace from Anna in Germany. And tschüss!